Awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone on YouTube land and other places that you're watching this, Facebook or some other place. And we just welcome you to the Giver Marketing 30-day challenge. We're getting all set up here behind the scenes. If you have any questions about marketing, efficiency, well, you're in the right place. We're about to rock and roll with efficiency marketing. We have Stacy and Kurt and other team members that are watching in. And so we're just so excited to walk through some basics around marketing that makes you more efficient, some of the tools and tips that help you do that. Stacy, introduce yourself really quick, and Kurt as well, please.
Hello, I'm Stacy, and I'm part of the Giver Marketing team, and I am your go-to girl for anything that you need outreach-wise.
Awesome. Kurt, watching in, and so we're just so excited to walk through some basics around marketing that makes you more efficient. Some of the All right. Can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Good. We just had a little technical difficulty there, but we got it. Awesome. So here we are, 30-day challenge and session number 3 of 4. If you missed the previous 2 sessions, please reach out to us and we'll be able to connect you with those resources. The first session and the second session are recorded, so those will be available to you. Okay. Again, this is about efficiency tools and tips, the software and strategies that'll save you time, give you more results. And I'm Timothy Morgan, your founder, CEO. Corey Michael couldn't make it today, but if you want to reach out to him, you're welcome to do that as well. We do have a reward associated with our challenges. So whether you're watching this recording or you're with us live, we want to encourage you to ask about our monthly rewards, those rewards that come up monthly in our challenges. As of right now, at the time of this recording, this is our challenge reward. So you get a $1,500 value for participating at a high level. And not only will that help us know that you're involved, but it'll help build your company and make sure you get more attention. Our mission is to bring positive attention to causes and companies doing good in the world. And we want you to get more eyeballs on what you're doing. If you believe in what you're doing, you want to get the word out, right? So 30-minute session from a certified marketing coach, some visibility service, graphic design service. These are some of our most popular services, and we're giving them away. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are givers, and we want you to participate in a way that would help your business. There's something special about putting that information into action, right? We don't want to just have more information. You can go watch some spammy webinar or something if you want to do that. We're gonna dig into the weeds here and make sure that you know exactly what tools to use. Make sure that we're not sitting here pitching you the whole time. We want you to have something to take away and apply today to improve your business or organization. Okay, so the 7 action assignments that you're gonna want to keep track of so that you can earn that reward are here on the screen. If you want to know more about that, please reach out to us individually, message us on one of our pages, reach out to us through our website at givermarketing.com. That'll be fine. And we'll gladly walk you through how to earn that reward. Okay. And the key is to participate and connect with each one of our sessions, our master classes, if you want to think of them that way. There's the first Tuesday of every month. We cover the Giver Marketing Blueprint. Second Tuesday is LinkedIn appointments. Third Tuesday, which is the time of this recording, efficiency tools and tips. Fourth Tuesday, which is next session, the 4th session would be social media best practices. Whenever there's a 5th Tuesday, we go into bonus time. We go into extra innings. We go into overtime, my friends. And so you want to definitely pay attention to that. Last time we went and discussed referral ping pong. That was super fun.
That was very fun.
So do you want to save time while connecting with your audience? Hey, we're big about being efficient around here. And with all the tools and tips available, we thought we'd compile them, put them all together, and actually show you what we do within our own companies. And I say companies because we're a network of marketing professionals that lead with coaching, And we're proud of our tribe. We have a family of marketing professionals who have specialties, and they know what they're doing. They put their thousands and thousands of hours into specific skill sets around marketing. And we're just super proud to be working together, which is why we're the highest reviewed network or group like we are on the planet. So we're proud of the reviews and the feedback and the kind words that are coming all over the place online, including what you see on the screen here. And you're welcome to just Google Giver Marketing or one of our team members, and these kind words will show up all over the place. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of 5-star reviews combined with all the network members in our cohort, in our kind of collaborative network of pros who are helping you with your marketing. Okay, our core values are here. If you have any questions, or if we deviate from any of these at any point in time, please let us know. We're humble enough to say, hey, sorry, we need to get back on track. But these are our core values that all of our team members are aware of. And so we want to treat you with deep, deep respect and value your time. So if you're hungry, coachable, and passionate, you're in the right place. If you're kind of tired of your business and you just don't want to be in that industry anymore, or you don't really care about people, or you're just not passionate about what you're doing, this is probably not a good session or a use of time for you. But if you're in growth mode and you want to really rock and roll and accomplish your mission, we recommend starting with the Giver Marketing Blueprint, which is the roadmap we discussed a couple of weeks ago. And it covers branding, visibility, promotion, and nurturing. We're going to be discussing some other things that are built on top of that today. But you might be asking yourself, hey, why productivity tools? I thought this was a marketing challenge. Like, what is this? I mean, we're not talking about operations. We're not talking about HR. We're not talking about anything. We don't cover those in general. But what we will say is this: the tools we're talking about will greatly impact your marketing directly. It's not even indirectly. It's directly. It will affect your brand. It will help you save time in doing the marketing activities you already should be doing anyway, in order to get as many eyeballs on your organization or company as you can. All right, let's jump in, because we want to have some time for discussion and maybe digging into Calendly a little bit later. Hint, hint, hint. Stacy has brought that up, so we're going to discuss and dive a little deeper into just the details of Calendly and some fun ways to use that tool. Free tool, by the way. Most of these tools are free and low cost. So you'll find yourself not breaking the bank, but saving a lot of time and generating a lot of basically producing revenue generating activity is essentially what we're trying to help you do. Okay. All right, let's talk about project management really quickly to kind of get us started. And yes, we are getting started. So grab your pen and paper, grab your note-taking device, and let's jump in. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Trello. All right, so Trello is a project management board. Stacy, you and I use Trello within our respective companies, within Giver Marketing, the network. Kurt and I have a Trello board we work on together and help each other on different things. We love Trello. Is one of the best free tools for keeping your thoughts, your action items, your collaboration efforts all in one place, so you're not going back and forth on emails trying to coordinate projects. And honestly, with how much busyness there is in our inbox on our emails, we have to have segmented or dedicated spaces for project management communication. And shoot, I'll be up late at night kind of thinking about something around the business, and I'll just put it on my own Trello board. I just created a personal Trello board recently, like, hey, don't forget to think about this, or hey, what about this book idea, or whatever it is, put it on your Trello board. We have one for our home, just our projects around the house. Like we keep a lot of boards for different things. So super fun, super easy to use. There's a few different views on Trello. If you don't use Trello, I would just start with that. I think that's a really good and fun way to start. All right. HubSpot is a client retention or relationship manager, depending on how you want to view it or say it. But CRM, if you ever heard the acronym CRM or the acrostic CRM, then you definitely want to check out HubSpot. It's a great place to start if you want to keep track of all your clients and prospects and tag them with different notes and make sure and segment them and get them ready for emails. And it integrates into so many different other tools as well, like Gmail, and it'll make sure and keep track of your sales and marketing cycle. Okay. That client journey, that prospect's journey needs to be tracked somewhere. And HubSpot is a great one to start with. If you want to put your big boy and big girl britches on and really dive into a robust, all-inclusive, lots of bells and whistles kind of a platform, Zoho is a great platform to expand your horizon. So if you've kind of graduated from the free services and you want to get deeper into multi-dimensional CRMs that have bells and whistles that you can integrate into so many different pieces, to some degree, it almost replaces about 2 or 3 dozen other tools that potentially within Zoho. So look at Zoho and look at Zoho One. For as little as $30 a month, you can have so many spreadsheet. It replaces Google Drive. It replaces, you can do signatures, you can do help desks, you can do like Zendesk, like people sending in tickets. You can there's so many different applications. We don't have time to go into it today, but it's much more than just a CRM. It has all these other tools built around it. It's probably, in my estimation, if you were to buy some of these tools separately, outside of Zoho One, right, which is the $30 a month version, it probably costs somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 to $1,000 a month. But it's only $30 a month. So it's a very good tool. Todoist, Stacy, have you experimented with this recently or seen some clients or prospects using this tool at all? Can you speak to
Yeah,
this
I
one?
use it. I use it myself to keep myself on track and give myself lists. And it's a great way, like you can use for, like it says, your grocery list, your task management list, stuff that needs to happen right away. You can download a quick on your phone, and it's easy to just type something in if you're on the go. So that's what I like about it. And it's more for yourself. You can't really tag other people in it, but it's a good one to keep on your tasks.
All right. So if it's a small task that doesn't require a full card and collaboration and its own Trello board and all this other stuff, it's just a little note for yourself, like, hey, don't forget to do this, or here's a priority list of 5 things that I need to do today, or those just to-do lists that are super simple, right? And make sure that they're put somewhere. We're trying to help you go paperless, ladies and gentlemen. That's basically what's going on here. If you haven't figured it out yet, we're a paperless company. We have no contracts. We love keeping things simple, sweet, efficient, and digital. And that's ultimately what this is about. We have a visibility tool. This is by far our most popular tool and that we've had in all the years that we've been in business. And it's because it helps you do something that most companies have difficulty doing on their own. Okay. A visibility tool that you see on the screen, givermarketing.com/visibility, is where you want to go, and it'll show you where you're listed in relation to Google searches. At the time of this recording, Google is the king of search, and we want to encourage you that almost 9 out of 10 people will go online before making a buying decision. So you want to be consistent, you want to be accurate, you want to be very, very findable. Is that a word? Findable online very quickly. And this is the way to do it. If you're the best kept secret in your industry or in the nation or in your region, this is the tool for you. You want to get found quickly. All right. Some companies will charge hundreds of dollars for this kind of thing. And we just want to let you have access to that. And if you need some help with it, then we'll charge, there's a small fee to be able to help you set everything up. But ultimately you can do it yourself. You just use the tool and go in manually and kind of update everything, make sure it's all consistent. You should be good. All right, so there's dozens of directories that you want to be listed on accurately. That's what that tool does. And it looks a lot like this. You'll see that you'll begin being listed. This is an actual client that we have worked with for years, and you'll start dominating the Google pages more effectively as you become listed properly on what they call directories and listings. Some people call them citations. There's different language, but ultimately you're going to want to be listed on Google properly. At the end of the day, that's what we want for you.
That's funny that you'd say that. I've gone through the visibility scan and I had a random phone call last week because I was listed.
Hey, I love that. It's always nice when you're listed on these platforms and you start getting people, inbound kind of activity happening where they're just finding you because you're listed. Wow, I love that. Thank you, Stacy. Good. And, ultimately that's where companies generally go, is they push a lot of outbound marketing, and then they become known in the industry. They become an authority. They become listed properly in all these places. And before you know it, people start talking about you in third spaces. I know, Kurt, you have some examples of that happening here recently as well. And so to be able to have people just kind of recognize or find you and then just kind of reach out to you. And there's nothing more frustrating than reaching out, wanting to reach out to somebody and they're not listed anywhere. Like you almost have this instinct that says, are they in a legit business? Like, do they really know what they're doing? Have they been around for a while? Like, are they in the modern era? Is it going to be this hard to have conversations with them if I can't even find them online? All these subconscious or conscious for that matter, kind of thoughts come through if you're not listed well. All right. So you can see why that's one of the more popular tools. Now, this one here, Stacy, you and I have been talking quite a bit about this. Kurt, we've been discussing the power of Calendly for years now. Just trying to figure out how to set up and schedule appointments. Stacy, you and I, when we were first working together, you really came in as a lady in shining armor, trying to help set up appointments and do some different things. And ultimately, Calendly has really been able to help us. Can you explain a little bit more how you use Calendly and how that can help clients and what they're doing with their business?
Calendly keeps you organized, really, because when you're trying to reach out to people and you're going back and forth about booking times, people aren't always answering you right away. You could book another time over top, but if you have a Calendly, then you send them a link, they book what's available on your schedule. So the very important piece of this is a free tool. You get one calendar link. You get one link to use for free. And it gives you approximately 35 minutes of a meeting time. You can pay and upgrade and get a little bit more, but to keep it free and keep things simple, that's what we're pushing on this recording today. You can definitely set up very easily, and it allows you to be able to set that appointment up without the hassle of going back and forth. So you can set it up so that you can call the person, or you can have a Zoom meeting with the Calendly as well. So it's very good to keep track. You can also look back and see how many appointments you've had. It keeps a record of how many appointments you've had. So you can go back and maybe one day you're thinking of someone, you can't remember their name or something like that. You can go back in there and go, oh yeah, that was that person. You can pick it out if it's in your Calendly.
I love that you mentioned how it syncs up with, Zoom, and depending on what Zoom product you've purchased, you have a certain amount of, Zoom time that you can spend on that chat, on that conversation. But Calendly is free for one event, like Stacy was saying, and it integrates with Zoom and your Google Calendar or Outlook. It makes sure that you're not double booking. That's the big thing is, and also I'll add to what you were saying, Stacy. You can turn those appointments into a CSV file. And so you can have a spreadsheet of all the appointments you had, let's say from last year, just sitting all in one place, and you can just upload them to your CRM or do whatever you want to do with them. But the point is there's a good organization to the appointments that are being booked, and you avoid double booking. I don't know about you, but chasing people back and forth, trying to schedule an appointment, and then ultimately they book at the same time somebody else does, that's like triple annoying. So that's what problem that solves. And that's why there's so many people using that. Kurt, how have you experienced Calendly?
I got so much to say about Calendly, and I don't want to dominate or go too long on the call, but I'm a guy that likes custom tools, and I like things that are attached to my own web property, right? So I like things to be consolidated in my stuff, but Calendly is the exception. I actually discontinued my own calendar tool and went exclusively to Calendly after you counseled me to do so. And that's because when I go to book with somebody, if they're a Calendly user as well, I see their available times, my available times. It syncs to my Outlook. It pings my phone. It sets up the Zoom meeting, like you said. And to Stacy's point, all of the previous meetings are there, right? And so I just went through an episode having to buy new laptops, right? And so my Outlook didn't have all my contacts in it. Export, import, got all my people, add them to my mail lists, good to go, right? And it's just one of those things where Calendly, and for $10 a month, right? Because I know you guys are pushing the free thing, but it's only $10 a month, and then you can set up the menu. So if I'm talking to someone that wants to do a 15-minute introductory call, I got a link for that. If it's a 30-minute Zoom call, I got a link for that. If it's a 60-minute Zoom call to record a podcast, I got a link for that. And because I took the time to set it up in advance, it's as simple as sending the link. They book their time. It aligns with the calendar for me and them, and boom. The other tools didn't show me their availability in the Calendly link, right? So if they didn't, because it's such a dominant thing, right? So Calendly is so dominant in the marketplace that it is the tool to connect with people. It's not a tool.
Couple of little features on Calendly we can talk about a little later too, if we have time, is you can add a guest to your appointment with Calendly, and it automatically books on most calendars. So I won't say all, but most calendars, it will automatically populate their calendar when they open. In other words, they don't have to click around and try to figure out where the add to calendar link is and some of those kind of things. Honorable mention, Book Like a Boss has some of the same features with the exception of the two I just mentioned, but they have many of the same features that we're discussing. So there's some free and paid versions of these tools, and we just want to encourage you to get a scheduler, make it happen.
Yes, yeah. It will make your life easier.
LastPass is no longer an option, or a password manager is no longer an option. It's probably a better way to say it. LastPass is a good one. Dashlane. I think there's one called OnePass, and there's a few different ones. And Kurt, if you have an idea on this as far as password managers, we'd be open to maybe some other options too. But get a password manager, ladies and gentlemen. You have to remember one password, and then it'll give you access to the rest of them. It has two-factor authentication built into all these, so that it's very safe. It's actually safer to do this than to write it on a piece of paper and put it in your drawer. It's really, really safe to do it more digitally in the cloud now, as opposed to having some random piece of paper somewhere that, honestly, a lot of people can get a hold of that. Take a screenshot of it, or a quick picture of it, and then they got your stuff. So we don't want them to have that kind of access. We want to have some digital firewalls that are, or digital protection against your passwords. Anybody else have any thoughts around the password managers?
I just recommend as well that it's there, that you have one going. Go ahead, Kurt.
I was just typing the comment in. That's the funny part. The honorable mention, the LastPass, is to double check whatever your antivirus software is, because a lot of those software packages have a LastPass type functionality, and then it's something that's already in your computer rather than something else that you're adding.
Yeah, that's an option. One of the things that I've found helpful personally, Kurt, on that note, is like Google will have a password manager built into it, but it doesn't always. I don't know. There's some functionality to LastPass that's a little bit more robust. So I like actually having both, where you have kind of almost like a backup to a backup to a backup. I don't know. These passwords are important, man. I mean, we're all the banking institutions and software we're using for our companies and financial platforms like Wave, like all these different, tools that we need username and passwords and credentials for. So,
Well, and if you started getting the notifications last month, Google got hacked on the password saver, right? And so sadly, in my instance, I had over 200 saved passwords in Google, and I had a lot of work to do to go in and fix that stuff.
Yep. You got to protect yourself. And it seems like every legitimate platform is starting to lean toward two-factor authentication and some of these other things. And at the time of this recording, there's a real security issue that is being addressed right now. So, hey, let's talk about Wave, Stacy. I mean, when we're sending out invoices for smaller projects or for reoccurring projects where we want to make sure that it's easy for someone to pay us. Let's not make it difficult, ladies and gentlemen. We need to make it easy for people to pay us for our work, our efforts, our genius. Stacy, do you have any thoughts on just kind of sending invoices, those kind of things?
This is a straightforward, easy, it's good for startup. So that's one thing I want to really mention here is a lot of these tools that we're talking about are good for startup businesses, because we know as a startup, you have to learn how to do these things. Lots of times you're not necessarily experiencing all these things. So this is an easy to use, user friendly. You can set up the credit card system very easily. I use it once in a while, and it's great. It's great for watching what's going on in your business for sure.
Cool. Yeah, it seems like many of these tools that we're mentioning, you can use as a startup and then grow to your first million or two, and then start basically adding paid features to each one of these tools. And you're not going to really outgrow them per se. They're just really easy to use in the beginning. So you're not sitting there frozen trying to figure out what tools to use. And that's part of our time today, right? Evernote is fun for note taking. Again, we're trying to help you go paperless. So if you want to scan something or write something down with your digital pen, however you take notes, consider using your device and app called Evernote to be able to integrate and sync into other platforms. There's so many different bells and whistles to Evernote. We can't even go in. You can scan receipts. You can have them in a folder. Anything that you would have paper that doesn't go into one of these other platforms, this could be like a catch-all for you. Basically, writing down thoughts. There's, I believe, a voice to text feature as well. So you can just write yourself some thoughts on that and use that tool with your mobile device or whatever device you're used to. Fireflies is interesting. And Stacy, if there's any comments that Kurt's blowing up the chat box or others are doing, hey, let's bring them in. Let's bring those comments in, okay? Fireflies.ai. I can't tell you how many times I wish I had a transcription of a conversation I had with somebody on Zoom. Word for word, it would have been nice to know what they said, how they said it, what context it was in. And Fireflies does all that work for you at it's free. It's a free tool, but if you want to customize it, here's a hint that not many people know about. One of our team members showed me this. If you want to customize this, it's like $5 a month. You could call it like Kurt's Note Taker, or Stacy's Scribble, or or we call it Give Her Notes whenever it comes up on Zoom meetings that we want to record. It transcribes it very well. It breaks it down to who's saying what. It gives you an audio file, so you can go back and listen to it if you're driving and you want to just listen to it, the audio conversation. It does basically everything but video. Honorable mention is Otter. It's another free tool, up to 600 minutes a month, if I remember right. Yeah, 600 minutes a month for free. And that does. some great-
No, I think it's 600 minutes in general, not a
Oh,
month.
that's right. That's right. 600 minutes. I believe it might start over every month for that 600 minutes, but you get at least 600 minutes for free to be able to transcribe. And so it's really cool. Those are both tools we use. I like to have backups. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I like to have backups. Like if Fireflies isn't working perfectly, I'll just bring in Otter and we're good to go. Plus Otter works with Zoom, and you can automatically set up Otter to where it syncs up with Zoom, and it will record in the cloud everything at the same time you're recording the video in the cloud to Zoom. So a lot of these tools are very, very much designed to work with Zoom. Okay. Facebook Messenger. Hey, for business, there's so many ways to be able to start playing with the concept of having automated responses, questions that you can answer on your business page. And I say business page on purpose because we're not just talking about your regular messenger that you have on your personal profile on Facebook, but the business page itself has some fun bells and whistles to it that are free. They're built in. They're basically like the beginning stages of artificial intelligence and automation through chat. And so you want to be able, we even plug this into our website. Like if somebody wants to ask a quick question, they go to our website and it's just sitting there like, hey, just ask a question, and it'll ping us right through our business Facebook page. So it's a good tool for multiple reasons.
And Kirk's saying it's easy to integrate with WordPress.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Greet your clients.
Thanks for mentioning WordPress, Kurt, because
something I've noticed, it integrates with TikTok. So if you're using TikTok for your business, I've noticed Facebook Messenger on there as well.
Very interesting. Yeah. And I know Instagram and Facebook are starting to play nice together because they're brother and sister companies. They were bought out by Facebook. So there's these different platforms that are starting to really play nice together so that the whole ecosystem can work well. Yeah. Any other thoughts around Facebook Messenger for business specifically? You can post your hour, commonly asked questions, hours. Here's a link to schedule an appointment. That's what we do. If somebody goes to our business page and they start typing something, it'll automatically say, hey, to talk more, specifically about this, why don't we just set up a 10-minute call? And it automatically starts giving access to calendars and things like that. So that's a really practical way to tie a Calendly link right into your Facebook Messenger automation messages or your artificial intelligence features. All right, Bonjoro. And actually there's some other ones too, similar to Bonjoro, but Bonjoro we recommend trying because you can use this to send personalized video messages in a very quick manner. So it allows you to interact through email, through other messaging platforms to be able to send a video very easily. And it's a great app that just lets you do it very, 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 very quickly. It cuts out a couple of steps that if you were going to do it yourself with some of the native software features on your phone or your device, Bonjoro cuts out a couple steps. So it just saves you a little bit of time there. Okay.
Super easy to use too.
Yeah, there's another tool called Loom as well that it'll capture your screen and your face, but that's more for like telling people about features of a website or recording something from a problem area for one of the platforms that you're using or something like that. It's a different use case, but we're starting to utilize more video to communicate as opposed to just a text or a quick screenshot. Those are fine for some cases, but sometimes you just need a video to just tell somebody, hey, welcome to the group, or hey, welcome to the team, or hey, did you have any questions about our last conversation? and have it personalized. Stacy, you and I have a friend named Josh, who he's a master of sending a video follow-up. Almost every time you have a conversation with him, he's sending a video follow-up, writing your name on a little whiteboard. And he's like, hey man, what's going on? And it's like, you feel like you've talked to him like 15 times before you even get on the call with him. Like it feels very connected. And that's the power of video. So
Yes.
we could talk about that for hours, because video is the thing right now. Like, you got to get into video, ladies and gentlemen. Bonjoro is a fun way to kind of experiment with that. Make sure your lighting is good. Hey, what's going on? So super fun. All right. MailChimp. There's MailerLite, there's MailChimp, there's so many email, active campaign, there's constant contact. I mean, we can go on and on and on about different, we've tried them all, we tried a lot of them, but email campaigns are not dead. You just need to make sure you're not spamming people. So ultimately, if you have 2,000 contacts or less, MailChimp is a very, very smart move to start with. You can always bring your contacts over to another tool later on, but if you want to just start with MailChimp, make sure and let people know that you're still around. You want to give them value. Hey, here's something that we recorded last week. Here's a link to it. Want to bless you guys with this, or give you this extra little tip or tool. Did you have any questions about, our last session or anything like that from a mass email standpoint? Anytime you're emailing more than 4 or 5 people at a time, you want to use MailChimp basically at the end of the day.
Tim, can I break in
Sure.
a great side benefit to a tool like MailChimp or some of these other tools, but MailChimp especially, is if you're new to marketing, which is what, we're focusing on teaching people about marketing, right? It shows you and teaches you how to format an email, or how to format a quick message, or how to format a landing page, which so many people really don't have a clue on when they get started, right? So they have all those templates and everything, and you just go replace the image in some group text. And if you follow their template, you're tempted to put in 6 paragraphs, but their template has 1 paragraph and a click link, right? So it's like, if you follow their process, when you graduate and move into your own platform, right? When you get so big that you have your own mail platform, you'll kind of like train yourself on how to do it properly.
They do have great kind of instinctive tools, kind of almost borderline. It's more than templates. Like, there's training, and there's also, I love it. Good point. Great point, Kurt. Anything else, Stacy?
No, that's an amazing point to say that I know a lot of people that use MailChimp.
Yeah, it's like the starting platform for email. Like, this is where you want to start for sure. It also integrates with some social media ads really well. And so if you're thinking about Facebook ads or Instagram ads or anything, you want to definitely give it a shot to kind of integrate that together. Okay. All right. I already mentioned Loom, so I won't go too much into this, but if you're sending screenshots all over the place, like multiple screenshots for something, or you're trying to figure out, like, how do I explain this without writing like a novel to one of your developers, or a friend who's helping you with something, or someone like Stacy's trying to help you set up Calendly or something. I don't know. You can just record a video and say, hey, I'm having trouble at this one spot. It'll generate a link, and you send it over, and then it's like you were talking to them for 2 or 3 minutes, and there you go.
Yeah, I love it. It makes it so much easier to follow.
There's also a little like extension in Chrome and some other, so it makes it really easy to work with.
There's a side benefit to the free version of Loom too, and it limits you to 5 minutes.
Yeah,
which is a great tool. It keeps you from going too long-winded. If you can't express something in 5 minutes, then you need to make an online course, right?
Yeah, or set up a Zoom chat for 20 minutes or something. Like, just keep it. I love that, Kurt. Man, you're like a brother from another mother. I love this. All right. IFTT is just straight fun. Like, this is like, if you want to use this for business and have some things trigger and automate one app to another, think about it this way. Anything that's on your phone that you want to have communicate or trigger with each other, this is the tool you want to experiment with. You can kind of build your own. You can use some of the little triggers that other people have built. oh gosh, I could give so many examples. When I make a phone call, there's an automatic spreadsheet list that is created from my phone calls. I have phone calls that are recorded from the last probably 3 years or something like that. So I can go back and just think about, date, time, when, where, who, like I talked to on a spreadsheet. That's just one idea, but it integrates any app that we talked about today that's mobile based can basically communicate because of IFTTT in one way, shape, or form. It means if then that. Wait, no, if this, then that. That's the correct way to say it. So that's what it stands for. But it's free, and gosh, you can have ringtones. You can have like all sorts of. I had an image come up on my phone. The NASA image of the day would come up on my phone every day, and it would like change my background on my phone. Like there's just so a lot of it's fun, but a lot of it's business. Like you can do social media triggers. If you post here, it'll post over there, and it does it a little bit more natively. It's just very, very interesting the way it works. Zapier. Kurt, tell us about Zapier.
Oh, you're muted, Kurt.
I was muted. Zapier is just an amazing tool, man. It is. So people use terms like API, and it scares people when they hear things like from Web Talk. But if a web platform has an API, it has a magic key that allows it to connect to other platforms and other programs. And Zapier is one of those amazing tools that just glues those APIs together and allows things to integrate and work together without having to pay for crazy custom integration through a developer like me.
Ah, there you go. So you're saving time, you're saving some money, they're making it easy for thousands. I think it's more than 1,500 apps now. I think it's more like 2,500 now, but there's literally thousands of like programs that you're already using, like Calendly and some of these other ones where you can trigger it into your CRM. Anytime you're entering data twice, you want to definitely think about Zapier first before you start entering data from your CRM and copying it over to here. Anytime you're copying, pasting, or entering data twice, think Zapier. And once you set up one session or one trigger on Zapier, which they call them zaps, once you set up one, you'll get hooked and you'll be like, oh my gosh, this is going to save me literally hundreds of hours if I do this right. All right. Thinkific is a fun way to get started on creating your own little courses and recording training videos and things like that. Just a place to get started on that. Kurt, have you experimented with Thinkific or some of these other type of platforms recently? It's been a while since I've looked into it.
No, I haven't used Thinkific. I'm an old Moodle guy from when I built learning management platforms for corporate folks, and now I'm into a WordPress environment. However, there are so many other like Udemy's and Kajabi's and all these other things where you can put this kind of content together, and the options are endless. And I think if you have, like I said earlier, if you have to express your training content in more than 5 minutes, you need to have an online course.
There you go. So Thinkific is your kind of free starter tool to do that. And then there's other tools that cost a little bit, but hey, you got to start somewhere. You got to practice. Ultimately, yeah, these kind of tools are basically ways to get your engine moving, right? Get the wheels greased and get going. And if you're not going to do it now, you're going to look down the road 3 years from now, you're going to wish you had done it. You got to get prep. The idea that you can do marketing or any kind of courses or anything like overnight and have like millions of people viewing it is ridiculous. I wish I could slap the marketing professionals that told you this can happen overnight and you're going to be like a rock star overnight and everybody's going to know your name. It's about the years and years and years of hard work. And some of these tools can bring it down to months in some cases, but it's still thousands and thousands of hours that you're putting into this. So if you're not interested in the long journey, then just don't do it at all. I mean, you got to basically get started with some of these tools so that you can get good and then eventually get great at what you're doing. And you can have team members manage this stuff. It's just, you just have to experiment with it for a few minutes and see if it's even worth your time. And in many cases it is. Answer the Public is awesome in that you can basically search keywords and it'll give you like a cluster of how people are searching for this online. In the way that it presents, you could almost charge another company for this. We don't, but you could if you wanted to, because it's how it's presented and laid out. It's so well done that it's visually makes sense. It at least with the way my brain works, like it gives you this visual experience of how people are searching for certain things online in real time, like right now. And so you're not getting old data. It's collating, aggregating data for you. This is big data made simple, basically, is what this is. All right, Crowdfire, it helps you post on social media platforms, multiple social media platforms, in a way that is easy, and it also collates multiple articles, third-party articles that you can post. We recommend blasting your people with great third-party content. It gives you credibility. As long as the image is good and the content is pretty clean and solid and to the point, you can post a lot more third-party content than you probably realize. I mean, if it's really good third-party content, you can post as much as 80% of your posts can be third-party content. You don't necessarily need to go that extreme, but if you don't have a lot of time to create your own content, start here. Like, just get some good pieces out there that reflect your brand and things you're interested in as a company or an organization. Yeah, it just makes it really easy to post to multiple platforms. Cloud Campaign is a paid version that has artificial intelligence built in. It'll learn what times are the best to post different content on social media platforms. It includes a lot more social media platforms than maybe some of the other tools, like Crowdfire is able to do all at one time. There's not as many limitations, but there is a cost associated with it. So let us know, and we'll actually help you get this set up if you want to do it. Canva is a graphic design starter tool. It basically helps you create good enough quality images. Did I say that pretty good, ladies and gentlemen? All right, good enough quality images to be able to post on some of the main social media platforms. You can also pay to get higher quality images that might reflect you more effectively on website and other places like that. All right, so if it's a smaller image you're looking for, or a medium resolution kind of image you're looking for, Canva is a great free tool. But here's the big benefit of Canva, is it gives you like these customized sized images that you're using for different platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, like just different social media platforms. It already has the templates built in. So if nothing else, it helps you at least get started on the sizing of your image. And then you can go and use other tools if you'd like to kind of build out higher resolution versions. You can upload your own images in here. And again, you can pay for the higher resolution even within Canva. It also integrates with some of the other platforms that we mentioned earlier, like Cloud Campaign. Okay. TinEye is easy way to find large, higher resolution images of something that catches your eye online. Let's say you find there's some like small image that's inside of I don't know, on a website somewhere, or in a social media post somewhere, and somebody posted it, but the quality, the resolution of that image isn't quite up to speed. It's not up to par. It's not even good. It's like low quality image, right? Well, you go and type it into TinEye, and it will search the internet, the interwebs, if you will, and find it for you. And then you can decide whether to buy it or grab it from another source. And ultimately, there's so many of these images that are slightly modified or changed or customized, and you can just find a version of it that you like. Okay. High resolution images. If you're looking for those, TinEye is where to go. Also, a little there's another platform. It's called Upsplash. Unsplash. Thank you,
Unsplash
Stacy.
is a great one. I use that all the time.
Yeah.
It gives you really crisp images.
If you don't have the image already in your computer, or you don't know what you're looking for, Unsplash is actually a really good high quality place to find images just from the original artist, and they post them in there, and they're all royalty free. So Unsplash is a good safe place to put as like a header to your website, or a main image on just high quality images. Dropbox, good place to store your files, up to a certain amount for free. Same with Google Drive, you can have up to a certain amount for free. But here's the thing. To have important documents just in your computer or one of your devices and hope that you're going to keep that forever, it's just not the case. Every 2 or 3 years or less, maybe, you're going to be dropping devices or changing devices, and you don't want to have to remember. Yeah, you don't want to have all these. You don't want to have just things on you want to have it in the cloud. Ultimately, if there's a trusted source that you can keep your files, and they're gonna protect your files well, Dropbox and Google Drive are fine to start with. And then if you want to pay for more space, and then ultimately, like Kurt was just showing there, you could maybe like once a year, once every 6 months, you can back everything up on your own, backup drive if you want. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, don't get too fancy with it. Just get your files in the cloud, so that when you change computers or whatever, you're saving yourself hours and hours and hours of time trying to chase down those documents, those important files. All right, so what tools stood out most to you today? If you're watching the live stream, or if you're watching the recording, we want you to take some action on this information. It might feel overwhelming, might seem overwhelming because there's a lot of tools. We get that. Totally understand it. We get all the feedback like, oh my gosh, there's so many tools. And yes, but it took us years and years to vet these tools down to the ones we actually use. We tried like 10 times as many tools as you see listed here, but we brought it down to the best, couple of dozen tools for you. So pick 2 that you want to experiment with. If we had more time, we can go into Calendly for just a second, Stacy, if you want. But if we have more time, we can go deeper into some of these tools. But your action assignment is to pick two tools, try it, and screenshot it, or let us know which tools that you're using. Put it in the Facebook group, the private group. And again, if you keep on this track, you're going to end up earning a $1,500 reward. Okay, the previous assignments were your 4 micro assignments from the blueprint, and then the LinkedIn strategy, sending out those 100 messages. Okay, so we're trying to keep it, pretty simple. These micro assignments, these action assignments, they only take about 5-10 minutes if you're really on it. Okay, it doesn't take that long to do it. The LinkedIn one might take 20 minutes, but ultimately, it's definitely less than a half an hour of your time to, dial in some of these action assignments and be able to improve your business. Okay, that's what we want. Next week is social media best practices.
Mm-hmm.
And if you'd like to know more about some of the tools and tips and efficiency deals that we talked about today, please feel free to reach out to Corey. He's kind of our resident nerd, automation guy behind the scenes, trying to help us get going. We have other team members as well, other power partners, Kurt and others that can help with specific things. But start with Corey. He'll point you in the right direction, and we'll make sure you get any questions you have answered. Or if you want to look up Stacy Stockford on LinkedIn or Facebook, then you can be able to reach out to her as well. Glad to be able to answer any questions, and we'll point you to the right specialist once you have any, once we kind of clarify the questions you have. Okay, so if you're listening to this recording or watching it live, we're glad to be able to partner with you on that. Okay, all right, good. Now, Stacy, I wanted to share just real quickly. We only have about a minute here, but I wanted to share a couple of examples of Calendly. A lot of people ask about Calendly, so we might as well just share it.
Yep.
let's see if I can find it here. Hold on. I'm going to escape this. Give me 1 second. How about share something?
Yeah, Calendly, the setup of Calendly, I get, after we do this session, usually I get a lot of questions about the setup of Calendly. So we wanted to kind of give a quick little view about it.
All right. So when you go into the back end of Calendly, okay, you're logging in. If you have the paid version, you can do multiple events. Okay. There's all these little boxes here. There are multiple events. If you click on one of them, which you can have one for free, you'll see that there's different features on the back end of Calendly. We won't go into all these today, but just to get you started, I mean, the actual name of the event, just make it really simple. Hey, quick call with your personal marketing coach, or to learn more about each other, or something like that. And then there's a description section that just lets you know what the call is going to be about. We recommend a 10-minute phone call at the very starting point. And if you want to view the page as it would be viewed from a prospect, as it loads here, hold on 1 second. I want to make sure that I'm getting this loaded up properly. Let's go to Stacy's for a second while the other one's loading. So Stacy, you have a 15-minute Zoom chat that you make available, and this is what the prospect or the client will look at when they're booking the appointment. You got your profile picture, little description, little title. It's going to be a 15-minute Zoom chat. Basically, you're letting people know that it's just enough time to swap stories, dig in a little deeper, learn about each other. Then you go and click on one of the dates. Then it brings up options. Brings up options of what's available. And like Kurt was saying, if it's a green dot, that means we're both available at that same time. That shows a lot of the different, it matches up with my calendar, which is over here. So I'm just doing this in real time to be able to show you how easy it is to book an appointment. So if I wanted to book an appointment at 12, I would confirm, put in my information, and we're done. It's literally that easy to kind of set up.
And it's easy to set up so that you know how many events you want in that day of that particular one. How many 15-minute calls do you want?
Yep.
How
So
many 1-hour calls? You get to
that's
set
our little
all of them.
2-minute overview of Calendly really fast, just to let you know that it's not intimidating. You have one event that you want to set up. It's usually a 10-minute call or a 15-minute Zoom, something really short. You don't want to start probably with like a four-hour block or something. You want to keep it pretty simple, just so you can connect with people. Okay. All right. Well, good. Stacy, we have a special guest with us today, and I'm gonna make I want to make sure that we have a chance to connect with Adam and maybe ask him some questions about his business and his story and his vision and some of the things that he's doing to be able to honor our power partner relationship with him. And I'm actually going through some of his courses right now to be internationally certified as a coach. And I just wanted to interview him today as our special guest. So thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Stacy. Really appreciate your hard work and helping us walk through everything today. Awesome.
Have a great day.
Adam, can you hear me, my friend? I'm excited.
I can hear you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. We love interviewing our power partners and those who are influencing our community, and the ability to be able to help each other in our businesses has been just tremendous. So I appreciate your time today. Hey, first of all, people want to know, who is Adam Fleming? Like, what's the story? Who are you? Where did you come from, man? Give us the background of who are we talking to today?
Well, yeah. Okay. So, I grew up on an organic strawberry farm before organic was a thing. It was a very interesting place that I don't have time to go into, but I ate more. Let's just say I ate more strawberries by the time I was 10 years old than most people eat in a lifetime. And now I prefer blueberries. So I had my fill of those. So if you're a strawberry fan, I get it, but there is too much of a good thing sometimes. Um, I was interested in helping people even as a young person. Realized on my high school cross country team that I was good at encouraging the other guys, and we qualified for the state meet as a team, and and they voted me most inspirational. So I thought maybe I would be some kind of a pastor, some kind of a person working in the church world. And I went to a Bible school. And when I graduated, I sat down with my pastor and he said, "What are you going to do next?" And I said, "Well, so I guess I should go to seminary, right?" And he said, "Well, why would you do that?" And I said, "Man, I don't know." So that was the end of that idea. And fast forward 7 years or so, I'm talking to this guy at work and I said, "Hey, I haven't had a mentor for a while. Would you mentor me?" And he said, "No, but I'll coach you." And I said, "Okay, man, whatever you call it." I'm in my early 30s. I'm starting to have kids. I'm, building a family and all that. And as he started to coach me, I realized there's a methodology that kind of fits my encouraging, my mad encourager. Like my hair is always standing up on end, and I'm cheering people on. But there's a methodology to the madness. If you get some really great training, you can learn how to channel that energy of wanting to encourage people into something that's really super effective and helps them make decisions, helps them move forward in their life and all that kind of thing. And so now, long story short, it's been a 12-year career as a leadership coach. Now what I do is I train people to do that same thing. So the thing that my first coach, and then they encouraged me to get training in Virginia, and I went through this training. Now that's what I do, is I train people, let's say real simply, in soft skills: how to listen better, how to ask better questions, and how to hold people accountable without beating them up.
I like it. I like it. And I know I've experienced some of that as well. And it's benefited not only my family, but our business tremendously. So really excited to dig in a little bit more and share your genius with the world, man. This is super fun.
Thank you.
What's the big vision, man? Like, are you going to continue to train other coaches? Are you going to have other trainers what's the big vision here? 10 years from now, we're having this conversation. What does your organization look like?
Yeah, 10 years from now, I may be focused entirely, 80% of my day on writing fiction, because that's what I want to. Another thing that I happen to love to do is just write novels.
Mm-hmm.
But the big vision there, I mean, how do I get my business to the place where I can do that,
Mm-hmm.
4 days a week or whatever, is to, yeah, we'd love to, in a year or two, be training as many as 100 people a year, and go up from there. Build up our trainer team so that we're actually, the coaching world, if people are doing it really well, it can be a tough grind to get started in. And so we want to find people who have kind of gone through the grind enough to be at a place where they're certified and they've got some experience under their belt, and then train them also to be trainers in our program. And our focus is really on a couple of things that we bring that's unique to the world. It's the intercultural communication component that we specialize in, and then also just the fun of how we train with fun games that makes it like, yeah, you're in an hour and a half class, but it's not a drag.
Yeah. All right. And so there's an international flavor to what you're doing, making sure that if you're coaching or helping somebody in this way from a different culture, that you're not going to be totally blindsided and totally out of your element. You have some context to remember. Oh, I remember Adam and the team where they were talking about this. And okay, so that's cool. You got a international flair going on to what you're doing and training specifically for that.
Right.
So that you have the skills needed to not only be a local coach, but more of a national or international certified type of coach, right?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, the local thing actually hasn't worked for me real well, and I'll be leaving my BNI after next week because I just don't get that many referrals locally, with one exception, which is kind of funny because it's intercultural. Is somebody asked me if I could coach an Amish woodworking business owner. So in terms of my local area right now, probably the only client I have within 60 miles is somebody from a different culture.
Right. Yeah. And it's ironic, isn't it? That
Yeah.
yeah. So ultimately the world becomes your playground if you can go international
Yeah.
and you can get trained properly. Okay, cool. So what about your challenges on your challenges as a business owner on a personal level? Anything that you can share with us that maybe some of our audience might be able to say, hey, I can help with that. I like what you're doing, or I'd like to partner with you on that. Anything that's a challenge right now?
Well, I mean, certainly, I'm connected with you guys partly because marketing is my biggest challenge. And it's like I've done some like MailChimp type news. I'm using MailerLite now, but I've done that newsletter thing where I've been pretty consistent with writing one or two of those every month, and keeping up with people probably for 5 or 6 years, and growing that real slowly. But the consistency of social media posting and of making sure to capture people's email addresses and all that kind of stuff. That's one of the biggest challenges, because it's really, as you were saying right at the end of the talk, that like, if you're into this marketing and you think that your business is going to make 10K next month from zero, it's not going to happen. It's very rare, and you have to be in it for the long haul. So, just doing the long haul marketing, doing the stuff that is consistent, and having a consistent strategy that doesn't, like somebody else comes along and they meet you and they got some great ideas and you go, oh, let's go that way. Like this morning, I'm talking with a guy who has some kind of AI thing that they put on your website, and it tells Google AdWords what to do better. And, oh, that's a cool idea. But I mean, there's a million cool ideas, and you just kind of pick that strategy and
Yep.
stick with the strategy. I don't know if I'm really answering your question, but
No, it's good for the audience to listen to kind of where you're at. And it is true. The road from 0 to 10K a month is harder than the road from 10K to 100K a month. It just is.
yeah.
And you might have some other considerations as you're bringing team members on and things like that to reach that other milestone, which is essentially breaking the 7-figure mark for the year. But, that journey is very difficult in the beginning. And it's good to know that you're breaking through some of those barriers, and you're bringing on team members right now, and you're training trainers, and you're starting to hit your stride. And so that sounds like the challenge to me is just leveraging your time well, so that you're not distracted by the shiny objects out there that may or may not generate revenue. Like
Right.
we want to make sure and help this be sustainable for you. So we'll continue down that track. If there's anybody who's listening that wants to partner with Adam, he's a phenomenal coach. So there might be a way to help each other that way. But
Well, I'm one of the best. I mean, let's just put it that way.
yeah. And I will say that too. I've been in sessions before with different coaches and consultants and mentors and different types of people. And when it comes to coaching, Adam not only has experience, but he's got the training and the skill that underpins all that experience. So great point. Hey, goals for the next year. Like, what do you want to see happen in the next year, man?
Well, in the next 6 months, we'd love to get 20 more people into our training program. A lot of that, I mean, we're building the marketing engine, that kind of will eventually run itself and all that kind of thing. But, there's still, I think early in the process, still a lot of word of mouth that's required. So if somebody's hanging out a shingle as a coach and they haven't gotten any training for it, there's nothing illegal about that. But you may find that you can get some clients, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have an effective session. So anyway, that's kind of our short-term goal, is to do that, and then to get some of our programs need some additional certification, and we're sort of in beta mode on that already. So that's in process. And, I mean, you mentioned revenue. Timothy, I'm having my best month ever in 12 years of business this month. And there's still 10 days left. So
Come on now.
I mean,
Love hearing that.
that's pretty awesome. And I think I would give some credit to you on that. Obviously, some of that business was rolling in before I even met you, and it was kind of in the process, in the pipeline. But, I can also credit you with just giving me more confidence that, hey, that 10K a month mark is really right around the corner. We might hit it this month. I'm not sure. But we got a chance for that. And that's pretty exciting because, as you said, like if what you say is true, and I have no reason to doubt you, that it's easier to go from 10 to 100 than it is from 0 to 10, then I'll be at 100 next year.
Come on now.
100
Yeah, it's
a
always
month.
nice when somebody's, hit the grind, got a bunch of experience for, a decade or more. And then
Mhm.
they realize, wait a minute, what I need is marketing.
Yeah,
If I want to hit my goals, it
Right.
isn't getting better at what I do.
right,
It's get better at letting people know what I do.
right.
And so it's so
Or that I
exciting.
exist, that I
You
exist.
exist.
Yeah, we've talked about me being the best kept secret in Indiana,
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Well, not anymore. So you're the
No.
cat's out of the bag. Here we go. Let's let more people. And this is part of it. Just sharing your story and being able to
Yeah.
kind of pull back the curtain a little bit, let people know about your story, what you're trying to accomplish. And these group sessions that I've been a part of and been letting other people know about. Can you explain just real quickly what those are as we wrap up today? Just kind of those training sessions and packages and different courses that you're able to put together for people.
Yeah, so our training modules are pretty much a full-fledged, almost like taking a master's degree. They do take 80 hours to complete over the course of whatever it is, 5 months or so. So, one of the questions that I would ask anybody thinking about doing that, and 80% of that or more is actual interaction with me. This is not like your Thinkific, watch a couple of videos on Thinkific type of deal at all. It's much more intense and in depth. Thinkific's great. If you're doing stuff on there, that's totally cool. But that just to draw the distinction. Am I answering your question?
Yeah, we just wanted to learn more
Yeah.
about this experience that people
Yeah,
can have.
Well, the experience is like really going in depth. We use a process where my lecture portion is maybe 10-15% of the hour. And then it's bam, we're going right into a demo. So you actually see it in action. You're going into an exercise where you're practicing it with the group. And then you're going into a debrief session where this is where people learn the most. If you understand adult learning theory, people learn the most from unpacking the experience that they just had. So we end up with debriefs. It's super interactive. And like I said, and then the fifth thing that I use is what I have the 5 Ds, demo, describe, demo, debrief, and do. And then the fifth one is drama. So we've been using just the other day, yesterday, I guess we were doing a bunch of drama games from the improv drama world. So if you've ever watched Whose Line Is It Anyway, or a show like that, and you've thought, man, that would be a fun way to learn, or that's terrifying. Either way, we'll make it, even if you're terrified of it, we'll make it fun. So yeah, that's what we do in our training
It's a
programs.
safe environment to get certified internationally and make sure that you are honing in your skills, sharpening yourself. If you're going to call yourself a coach, you should probably have a coach. Number one.
Yeah, that's true.
And you should probably get as deep as you can, as quickly as you can, so that you're kind of guiding people in a way that makes sense for your specific skill set and the clients that you're working with. So Adam has a great way to bring coaching and defining that in a way that's very specific, so that you're not wondering, is this mentoring? Is this consulting? Is this advising? Like, no, this is coaching. Let's get really good at it. Let's go. So I'm excited to be able to showcase a little bit of your offerings and your background and all that. So thank you, Adam. Again, look up Adam Fleming, ladies and gentlemen. and ask him about these courses, these certification programs that he has available for you. Look him up on LinkedIn. Even if you're not necessarily interested in that yourself, maybe you know somebody who is, or if you want to help him with some of the pieces and the parts of his company, you might be able to hop on as a team member at some point if you get to know him and if he likes you enough. So look up Adam Fleming, ladies and gentlemen, and you might even notice some of his really great fiction writing that might be floating out there a little bit too, as a little side note. But super fun. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate you. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Timothy. Take
Yep.
care.